These three devices are my main computers. This is a Windows handheld PC, the Lenovo Legion Go. This is a MacBook, the MacBook Air M1. And then this is a Samsung Galaxy phone, the S25 Edge. My main computing needs are basically split amongst all three of these devices. Depending on the day, depending on what I'm trying to do, I might just use one of them as my computer. This video is going to be mainly about the Lenovo Legion Go and how I've been using it for the past 18 months. I thought, why not make an updated full review of the Lenovo Legion Go and how I've been using it in these 18 months. But I feel like it's worth talking about these two devices as well, because like I said, I use them hand in hand. So watch the whole video so that you can see how I've been using my Legion Go, but also why it can't be my one and only computing device, even though I would love for it to be that. Let's get into it. The ways that I've been using the Legion Go have been putting it in different situations. So what I mean by that is, at my desk, I have like 2 different docks set up so I can connect any of my devices, my Samsung phone for Samsung DeX, my MacBook for, you know, a multi-screen desktop experience, or the Legion Go as well for a multi-screen desktop experience. So I have these USB-C cables at my desk, and to be honest, for a bulk of my usage and experience with the Legion Go, I've been using it as a desktop PC. Like I literally just plug it in, set it up on my desk, and then I just use an external keyboard and mouse and call it a day. So that's mainly how I've been using the Legion Go, to be honest. Like at first I bought it for, you know, mobile gaming, to play games like Maplestory. If you've watched other videos on my channel, I love playing, you know, computer games like Maplestory, Rumble Fighter, Grand Chase, you know, things like that that you can only play normally on a laptop or a PC. And the Legion Go allows me to take those games and play them in a mobile experience, which is, honestly, I feel like a lot of those games fit a mobile experience anyways. Like especially Maplestory, if you're just grinding, leveling up, training, then it's amazing. And then the other way that I've been using the Legion Go a lot recently is literally if I'm in the office and I'm working off of my MacBook, because that's one thing too that I'm gonna mention about the Legion Go, is that one reason why it can't be my main PC is because I need something to video edit on. And the Legion Go, although it's very powerful and capable, Windows is not like super optimized. Like Final Cut on the MacBook, it just works really well. It's very optimized. And you know, Apple has their M1 chips, so it just allows me to, you know, video edit with something that's very cheap, like a MacBook Air M1, and also very slim and easy to carry around. I would love the Legion Go to be that, but at the moment I haven't figured out a proper video editing setup for it. So that's one reason why it can't be my main computer, because I can't video edit on it properly, like 4K video edit with no stutters and smooth experience. It's okay for like 1080p stuff. You know, I tried chopping up some gameplay from some games I recorded on the Legion Go. It's okay for that stuff, but 4K video editing, like making like a full tech review on this, possible, but not something that I want to do right now. I don't want to struggle to edit, you know? So when I'm in the office and I'm working on my MacBook or my Samsung phone, then I will use my Legion Go as a tablet. So I'll pop off the controllers like this. Very easy, very versatile. Pop it up, the screen, and then my daughter, sometimes if she's sitting in the office with me, then she can use my Legion Go as a tablet. As funny as that sounds, this big 8.8-inch screen is a perfect small size tablet for, you know, just like quick media consumption. You know, you might not watch a full movie on this thing itself, depending on who you are. Honestly, I wouldn't mind it. I feel like this screen size is good enough, but you know, it's good for quick stuff. So she comes in the office, I just, you know, use the kickstand that's built in, very versatile device, prop it up, take out the controllers, and boom. Now she's out here watching, you know, a little bit of a show while I get something done on my other computer devices. So really love the versatility for that reason. I mean, this is one of the most versatile devices, like just to give people who are not familiar with it a quick review of what it can do. 2 USB ports, a USB 4, so you can have external displays from both of them. You can use eGPUs from both of them, like either one of them. You have removable controllers that work wirelessly, they're Bluetooth. Then one of them has a trackpad on the other side. They have a lot of buttons and options that can be customized within the software. And then you also have something called FPS mode, where this one essentially turns into a mouse. You can use it like this, it has a scroll wheel and everything. And then it also has a magnetic base that makes it stand up by itself. And then the other one becomes like a WASD pad. So basically like a mini keyboard for FPS games, if you are playing something like that. So you literally can play FPS like bomb, like that, moving the camera, using this one to do everything else. That is pretty cool. And then on top of that, it is a 8.8-inch screen, you know, a little mini tablet, and it works well. Like people say like Windows is not optimized for that kind of experience, but in my experience, like it gets the job done. Like, you know, it depends on what you're trying to do on a tablet, but like this is good enough for me personally. Like if I need to browse the internet, I can 100% do that. Full internet browsers, touchscreen to zoom in and out. You know, you can watch YouTube. You can even have split screen multitasking. So drag that at the bottom, this one at the top. You can adjust the windows. And then you can also adjust like the screen size as well to give yourself a little bit more space, and just different things like that. If you connect your phone to this, because this is a Windows PC, so you can have phone link. If you use an Android phone, you can text on your phone and use your phone's apps on this tablet device as well, which is pretty cool. You also have things like Google Messages. You can use that in the browser as well. Very versatile device, and these are some of the ways that I've been using it over the past year. Honestly, I love this device. Like, it's probably my favorite handheld PCs out of all of them. I tried the ROG Ally, ROG Ally X, the Steam Deck. I tried IO Neo 2 device, and all those were cool. You know, they're all fine. I think if anyone buys any of those handhelds, you'll have a good time, especially if you know what you're getting into. Like, some of them are better for other things than others. But about the Legion Go, you know, despite loving it, there are some things that are not perfect about it. Like, for example, I had my right controller replaced because I think it was either the trigger or the bumper button, but either one of them was acting up. And, you know, here we are 18 months later. I think since I got it replaced, probably like around like 10 months, I don't know. But now this is acting up, this bumper on this controller is acting up, and I have to push it really hard for it to actually activate and do something in game. So that is kind of annoying. You know, this another controller is failing on me, and I'm pretty sure my warranty is about to be done. And to be honest, I don't even know if I want to go through the process. It's not hard, really. You just email them, whatever. But it's kind of annoying because if I do, I'm gonna have like 3 of these controllers just chilling with broken buttons, or 2 of them with broken buttons. So yeah, the quality of the controller doesn't seem like it's the best. It's kind of like a Joy-Con. I mean, that's really the main thing, like buttons breaking. But when you think about it, buttons are core to your gameplay experience. So the console itself, no issues with like build quality. I feel like it's fine, but there are some other issues. So for example, like sleeping in a device, this is just a Windows thing. If you set your device to sleep when you press the power button, then you're gonna have a lot of issues with it, like not powering on, or just not like sleeping properly, or waking up constantly, especially if you put it in the bag. So you got to use Hibernate, and Hibernate works, but it's a very it's a little bit slow, to be honest, like when you're trying to hop back onto the device very quickly. So that's another thing. Another con that I have with this device is, although like I love the big screen, I feel like the aspect ratio doesn't play well with a lot of apps. And on Windows, you might have like, you know, different sizing issues. Although it is Windows, so you can kind of manipulate it to however you want, but still, it's not like the smoothest experience. Things can get huge, things can be really small. You gotta find a sweet spot. But like, you know, it's Windows, it works. But actually, one other way that I've been using the Legion Go a lot is as like a game recording or streaming device. So, you know, I have OBS on it, and then I have this other software called Camo Studio, and then I have, you know, Elgato software. So basically, I've been using my Legion Go to record gameplay with either Elgato or OBS, and then using Camo to connect, you know, my smartphone to the Legion Go itself, and then use that smartphone camera as like my face cam while recording gameplay. And honestly, it's been actually a good experience, you know, to do that. But there were a couple of times where the Legion Go would heat up and just turn off, like it literally overheated. I haven't experienced that. It just overheated in all of my, you know, 18, 16, 17 months. But in the last like month or two, there were a couple of times where it heated up and just turned off. So that was kind of surprising to me, because I've never experienced that with this. This device just usually works so well. But I guess maybe I need to clean the fans or something like that. Overheating, definitely something that you might experience on this device, or you could experience. I thought this was good on that kind of stuff, but it only has one fan low key for cooling itself. So, you know, there's that. The ROG Ally X has 2 fans. The only way to fix that problem with the overheating is to literally go into this and then set the fan to maximum out. I don't know why this is tripping. I've never seen it do this before. Yeah, it's tripping right now. You know, this guy, Legion Go, trying to look bad on camera. I literally have never seen it do this before, but I also never really rotate my device while this is open. So I think that's the issue. Let me just... This is also another real life example of the Windows experience. You might have to problem solve randomly, you know, when you encounter certain kinds of issues. So, but anyways, you go here, then you press full speed, and you can hear the fan. It's gonna go crazy. If you're doing what I do, you know, I'm recording gameplay, my face in the video, I'm recording with my mic, you're gonna hear the fan speed in the background, and that's kind of annoying. I don't necessarily mind it by itself, but if I'm recording audio like I am right now, you can hear it, and it's just not a good experience for that kind of stuff. To recap, the main issues are that it cannot video edit. The controller build quality is kind of questionable, at least in my experience. It overheats, And the sleep slash hibernation functionality is not the best. Even with hibernate, there's times where like it doesn't want to turn on. And then it's also times when the battery just drains while the console is off. So that's also kind of annoying. But other than that, Lenovo Legion Go has been an amazing experience. You know, people make fun of Windows and stuff like that. They even make fun of this version of Windows. But I feel like Windows 11 is pretty good. You know, it's pretty touch screen friendly. You know, you have the swipe up menu kind of like Android, and it has gestures. It has the ability to snap apps to the side of the screen for quick split screen sessions and stuff like that. And you have like, you can bring it down here for like 4 apps. Like Windows is pretty cool at where it's at right now in terms of like touch interface. So personally, I don't really see it as an issue or a lackluster thing. The problem with Windows mainly is like a lack of optimization. Things are not necessarily built for one specific device. It's kind of like it's a software that is on many devices, many different kinds of devices, even many different handheld PCs. So it might not be the most optimized. And I mean, it isn't made for handheld devices specifically anyways. So there is that, but in my experience, I don't really have too many issues really. Like I live in Steam with all my games that I mainly play. I might have like another launcher or 2 for other games, but like you literally you set up your profile, you go here, boom, I have different layouts for my controls. And that's honestly, that's the main thing really, different control layouts. So I have Maplestory, I have Rumble Fighter, and I use my controllers to play those games. For the actual gaming experience, again, I know it's going crazy, I don't know why, but you have different power presets that you can set, and then there's different thermal modes like quiet, balance, performance, and then custom, where you can go up from like 5 TDP all the way up until like 30 TDP. And TDP is basically like how much power the device is pumping into its CPU, GPU. So I mean, in terms of using it, the actual user experience, that's really it. Then you gotta adjust your in-game settings. You know, whatever game you're playing, you gotta know how it runs on certain kinds of devices. But in terms of power, it's super powerful and super versatile. It works with a lot of games, has enough power to do that kind of stuff. And then it has the ability to have an eGPU to take it even further. So going back into why I use the other computers, my MacBook, I use that for video editing. Like Mac OS, where it's at right now, especially these M series Macs, video editing just works so perfectly at, you know, even like on a budget, and just like such a slim laptop. Like look at this, very, very thin laptop. This is the S25 Edge, and the MacBook at one point, it's pretty close to the thickness. So this is good for video editing, and it's a small package I can bring anywhere with me. Works fine for my use case. So that's why I use the Mac. I honestly, if I'm being honest, I hate Mac OS. Even right now, it got a little bit better because you can like drag windows to the side to snap them into quick split screen sessions. You know, finally they added that kind of stuff. But even still, that implementation is not as good as Windows. Windows is just, in my opinion and experience, is just smoother and faster to do different things when you're like moving windows around and you're manipulating windows and trying to set up your workstation to how you want it. I feel like Mac OS is just a lot more clunky and slower, even like the file management. But that's just my opinion. If I didn't have to video edit, then I wouldn't use a Mac at all. But that's why I keep a Mac around, unfortunately. I tried iPads and stuff, but they're good for video editing, but not for much else other than like gaming, I guess, in my opinion. You could get real work done on an iPad as well, but you know, I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier, so that's why I settled on this. And then I have my Samsung device. This is just what I carry with me all the time, right? My phone is always going to be on me. I use it for honestly a lot of work stuff too, like writing documents, notes, writing video ideas, mobile video editing on this. This is LumaFusion. You can find this on Apple devices and Android devices. Like I video edit on my Samsung device as well. And that's kind of funny because mobile phones, mobile devices are more capable than the Legion Go in terms of video editing because of the software support. And I don't know, I just had an easy experience personally. Look, this is a whole video that I edited, chopped up and stuff like that. And outside of video editing, like I said, documents, writing things, using the camera, also a big portion of what I do right now, filming videos, taking pictures. Like this is, a phone is probably one of the most versatile devices, and then Samsung takes it further with things like Samsung Dex. If I take this cord out of the Legion Go's port, put it into my Samsung device becomes a computer. And then even with the trackpad and the external keyboard dilemma, this device doesn't even have that problem really, because you see the desktop interface is here right now. This is a trackpad, so I can control the cursor with my phone. And then also I can pop up a keyboard when I click on a text box to use it. So like literally one of the most versatile devices ever, in the fact that it works as a phone and a camera, but then it can be a computer. And like for my needs, all I need is file transfers, multitasking, split screen, floating windows, all that kind of stuff, and the ability to video edit and, you know, edit like photos and things like that. This phone can do that. I love Samsung's software because it's just the best in terms of like multitasking, quick navigation. Like you see, just a few swipes and I can do so many different things. If I go in the app, swipe up, bomb, in a split screen session very easily. If I'm typing with 2 fingers, split screen, respond to person, you know, get whatever information I need to go back. If I want to turn an app into a floating window, I can just do this, floating window, manipulate it. And I can also have up to 5 floating windows and, you know, just a lot of different things like that. Samsung software is just super flexible, super customizable, and the navigation throughout the software is amazing in terms of like quickly setting up sessions to do different things. So yeah, that's why I use this as my computer for like, I guess, 35% of the time, and it's split amongst all these devices equally. The Legion Go, whenever it's connected to my screens and I have my keyboard on the table, the mouse, I use Legion Go to play games. I use Legion Go to, you know, even work on documents. I use Legion Go to watch YouTube videos, Crunchyroll, all that stuff. Basically things that I can do across all of them. So that's where the Legion Go, if I'm being honest, has kind of fallen off, in the sense that it's not like the most unique device in terms of how I use it. So I can get the same stuff done on these ones and more with the video editing. The Legion Go can play games though. It can play certain games that these ones can't. So that is a bonus. However, the Switch 2 is very capable of playing a lot of games that I want to play, especially Nintendo games. I don't really emulate things like that. I'm not into like, you know, pirating and stuff. Switch 2 came out, and I also like the console experience. You just literally put the Switch on the dock and it works on the TV. Legion Go, it's not always that smooth, especially with certain games that are older. I'm gonna start using this for gaming. A lot of the games I play, and even games like Elden Ring is coming out on the Switch too. So Legion Go has some competition, I can't lie. You know, it's kind of falling behind in terms of like being my one and only device, or a device that I use a lot of the time. Still gonna use it for like things like Maplestory and like recording gameplay and stuff like that. But in terms of like actually using it, I'm not even gonna lie, its usage is falling off for my personal use cases. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't play a lot of like super high intensive games. So I don't necessarily need the extra power that Legion Go has. And yeah, I mean, you could kind of tell like I'm getting excited for the Nintendo Switch 2. A lot of people probably look at me like I'm crazy, but just 60 FPS is what I really need. And the Switch 2 is low-key able to do that for a lot of games, and maybe even some games that I would play on the Legion Go if they come over. Very specific use cases in, you know, playing Maplestory and recording gameplay, like using it as a tablet for my daughter. And then if I need to leave the house and I need something super versatile, like a quick laptop type device, I might grab the Legion Go because of how small it is, especially if you take off the controllers. It could fit into any bag. But again, look how slim this is and light it is. And then this, if I just have an external screen, I can get to work with my phone only. And look at this. This is a very slim Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. So yeah, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below and what you think about the Legion Go and just handheld PCs in general. If you think I'm crazy for using other devices or whatever, everyone has their own opinions and use cases, but I'm curious to hear about yours. So until next video, we're out. Peace.